Welcome back everyone to J-Face Games. Today we're talking about player points, aka soul points. And for those of you that are new to the system, you can always come to this page and you can go to soul points. You can read all about the game thus far. Soul points are in essence what you use to build your character. And thus far it's been a very nebulous concept, meaning that we just say soul points and you can use them to upgrade attributes, purchase feats and powers, gain new skills, backgrounds, etc., etc. But it's been nebulous. At this point in time, there's no ability to make a character because we have no idea what it takes, right? But now we're starting to. So this is the idea thus far of what it might look like in terms of soul points, right? So in essence, starting soul points might be 24. And what does this mean? So 24 soul points to start with. And how does that sort of break down? Well, I don't know if I'm going to do tiers yet. I thought about using tiers to kind of limit different power levels at different tiers of play, but I'm not sure yet. But the idea being that if you have 24 points, say you want to purchase an attribute. So everyone starts at a D4, right? If you started a D4 on all your powers, if you wanted to move one up to a D6, it costs 3 points. That's what the first 3 is. If you want to move from that, maybe every power starts at a D3. And if you want to move to a D4, it costs 3 points. If you want to move that D4 to a D6, it costs another 3 points. If you want to go from a 6 to an 8, it now costs 6 points. And if you want to go from an 8 to a 10, it now costs an additional 12 points. Okay, so that's this sort of progression along the actual attribute dies, I believe. I might have to switch that first one, but I'm pretty sure that's in essence what it looks like. So in essence, if you wanted to have 4 D6s, it would cost 6 for each of those, so it would cost all your points to be at a D6 across the board, right? But that would be it. That'd be all your abilities, right? Backgrounds, it costs 1 point each. So meaning that to create a new background costs 1 point, and I'm a 1 in it. And to rank that up, it costs 1 additional point for each one. Okay. So if I wanted to have a thievery, or not thievery, that doesn't make sense, not background. But like a street urchin 4, that cost me 4 points to get there. Okay. Saving throws. Saving throws we talked about, they are things that that's fortitude, will, and reflex, and we link them to backgrounds. And the way you do that is if you want to link one to a background, it costs 1 point. So now I have that level 4 urchin, and I want to take my reflex and attach it, only costs 1 point. If I also want to link fortitude to that urchin, it costs 5 points to link a second thing. And if I want to attach will to it as well, it costs 10 points. But if I were to link fortitude to a different background, it would only cost 1 point, right? So you can spread them out against backgrounds and it's cheaper, but you have to then rank up each background. Or you could link them all to one background, but it costs a hefty amount. If I want to buy so your stress system is going to be, you're going to have 1 major, 2 minor, and 4 to 6 stress, we'll see in playtest. And if you want additional ones, it costs 2 points for every additional stress, 4 points for every additional minor, 8 points for additional major. And I don't know what the caps are. You know, those are going to be, you know, because I just don't know. And then you're starting spark points. This is a question of, like, if I want to make it more. So normally starting spark points at 5. So the question being, if I wanted to increase my starting spark point at the beginning of an encounter, how much would it be? I don't know yet. We'll get there. And then obviously if you want to purchase powers, aka feats, those are power and feat dependent. My guess is they're going to be somewhere between 2 to 5 power points. And then I think what's going to happen is that I think that every level you're just going to get another 24 points. I could be wrong in that, but I think that with the cost of some of these things and wanting to get power points, maybe it'll be 12 points, per level, or per level. And the question being, once again, do we want caps? Where it's like if you're a tier 1 player, the highest you can get is a D8. And a tier 2 player, you can get to a D10. Tier 3, maybe you can get to a D12, right? Tier 1, your background can only get to 7, then 10, then higher. I don't know if I want to go caps yet. I think that it would be easier on DMs, because if you know a background can be capped at a 7, then you know that on a D20, a +7, what does that mean? What would be possibly hard for that tier, and what would be easy for that tier, what would be medium for that tier, and then versus tier 2 versus tier 3. So there's probably some benefits to having tiers, and then you just, in terms of campaign, you figure out, well, it's not a campaign thing, it's a like, maybe you level 4 times, and every time you level you get 10 more spark points, or soul points. And then once you've leveled 4 times, so you've got an additional 40 soul points. So now you're at 64 soul points. Maybe at that point in time, you go from tier 1 to tier 2. I don't know. That's to be determined. Hopefully this made sense for everyone. If it didn't make sense, it's because you probably need to go watch the character creation video, the mock character creation video, and that'll give you an idea of what soul points are, and then what each one of these sort of mechanics are and how they work. All right. So thanks everyone for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and leave some comments, because I want to know what you're thinking.